Hello, everyone. This is Twins Week in Baseball, the final edition for the 2016 Minnesota Twins Stratomatic Advanced Replay. This recap will cover 2 out of 3 games against the Royals and the first 2 games against the White Sox. All right, we start with game 157, and this is Jose Barrios against Ian Kennedy. And the Twins get out in the second inning. Leadoff single by Sano. 2 batters later, Eduardo Escobar singles him to second. Centeno singles, and that loads the bases. And Byron Buxton with an RBI. That made it 1-0. After James Beresford walked, Brian Dozier with an RBI single. His 91st RBI of the season. That made it 2-0. Now the Royals would come back in the bottom half of the third. Gerard Dyson, leadoff walk, stole second, and an errant throw by Centeno moved him to third, and then Whit Merrifield with an RBI groundout that made it 2-1 Twins. The Twins would score a run in the top half of the fifth when Max Kepler hits his 14th home run of the year. And that made it 3-1 Twins. The Royals would come close in the bottom half of the 7th inning with Alex Wimmers pitching. Salvador Perez with a leadoff home run. That made it 3-2. However, the Twins would get to Kevin McCarthy in the top half of the 8th after a Logan Schaefer single. 2 batters later, Juan Centeno with a home run, just his 4th of the year, and 17th RBI. That made it 5-2, and that's your final. Brandon Kintzler pitches the final inning for the save, and Jose Barrios goes 5 innings for the win. Kennedy would go 5 innings in the loss. All right, and now we go to game 158. This is Irvin Santana against Jason Vargas. And this would be frustrating and joyous in the same game if you were a Twins fan. All right, Brian Dozier leads off the game with a single. 2 batters later, he goes to second on a walk by Robbie Grossman. And then Kenny Vargas rips the ball deep and gone. 3-run homer for Vargas, and that puts the Twins ahead 3-0. They would add another run in the 3rd inning when Brian Dozier hits his 30th home run of the year. That made it 4-0. This was good until the bottom of the 9th. Irvin Santana had pitched a gem, only allowing 3 hits and striking out 10 in 8 innings, but he ran into some problems in the 9th. Chesler Cuthbert with a leadoff double, Gerard Dyson followed with a triple, and Molitor came and got Kintzler. However, he was no help either. Whit Merrifield with an RBI single. That made it 4-2, and then the next batter, Eric Hosmer, high, deep, and gone. And that's a tie game. However, Kintzler did finish off the inning, and we went to free baseball. And Wade Davis in his 2nd inning of relief, they wanted to continue pitching so they could save some of the bullpen. Leadoff error by Alcides Escobar on a Jorge Polanco hit ball. After a walk to Robbie Grossman puts runners on 1st and 2nd. He got Sano to strike out. He got Jason Vargas to single, but it didn't score the run. It loaded the bases. And instead of taking Davis out, they let him try to pitch to Max Kepler. And that didn't go very well if you were a Royals fan. High, deep, and gone for Kepler. His 15th home run of the year. That made it 8-4. Chris Flynn would come into the game and finish off the 10th inning. Taylor Rogers came in the bottom of the 10th. He gave up a 1-out single to Alcides Escobar. He went to third on a Chesler Cuthbert single and scored on a Gerard Dyson sac fly. That made it 8-5, but that would be as close as the Royals would get. Kinsler would get the win, and Davis would get the loss. All right, game 159 was played on the channel. Kyle Gibson and Danny Duffy. And if you like what Drew Butera's been doing, Drew Butera's been doing in any of my games that I've featured him on, you'll be happy to watch this game. All right, then we go to game 160. This is Tyler Duffy against Carlos Rodon. And the Twins used the big inning to help them out in this game. Top half of the second, Kenny Vargas with a one-out double, and then a big two-out rally by the Twins. A walk to John Ryan Murphy, a single by Logan Schaefer scores Vargas. Byron Buxton was hit by a pitch, and then Brian Dozier, with the start of his big day, a grand slam, which made it 5-0 Twins. Jose Abreu would come back in the bottom half of the second with a leadoff solo home run. That made it 5-1. Todd Frazier would hit a solo home run in the bottom of the fifth. That made it 5-2. However, the Twins came back with 3 in the top of the seventh. After Schaefer and Buxton walked, Brian Dozier with a 2-run double, scoring Schaefer easily and Buxton using his great speed. That made it 7-2. Jorge Polanco singles home Dozier. That made it 8-2. The White Sox would score runs in the seventh and the eighth. In the seventh, it was a one-out single by Omar Narvaez, followed by a single by Leury Garcia, puts runners on first and third, and then Adam Eaton with the sac fly. That made it 8-3. They brought a run closer. Melky Cabrera leadoff single in the bottom of the eighth. This is off of Pat Light. Goes to second on a pass ball. Goes to third on a Justin Morneau single. And then after Todd Frazier struck out, Yolmer Sanchez hit a ball to the shortstop Polanco. However, he could not make the play. And Cabrera scores on the air. That made it 8-4. However, the Twins added another run in the top of the ninth. Dan Jennings pitching. Polanco with a leadoff single. Goes to third on a Robbie Grossman single. After they walked Sano, Kenny Vargas with a sac fly. That made it 9-4, and that's your final. Duffy went 5 innings to get the win. That's Tyler Duffy, went 5 innings for the win. Rodon went 5 1/3 in the loss. All right, now we go to game 161. This is Hector Santiago against not so more big game James Shields. Well, the Twins tried to get a rally in the top half of the first. They loaded the bases with 2 outs but could not score. Santiago pitched really well, and we'll get to his story in just a minute because we have to stop in the top half of the fourth. The Twins would score their only run of the game. Miguel Sano leadoff single, goes to second on a single by Vargas, goes to third on a Schaefer fielder's choice, and scores on a Buxton ground out. 1-0. Bottom of the seventh rolls around. We thought we could get Santiago to finish off another inning, I should say. However, that was not to be. Melky Cabrera leadoff single. He goes to second actually on a Avisail Garcia single. Goes to third on a Narvaez walk when Shagwal walked him, and then Shagwal walked Leury Garcia with the bases loaded. That made it 1-1. Michael Inoa came in and pitched a wonderful 8th and 9th, although he did get into trouble. Twins had first and second with 2 outs, but could not score. And then in the bottom of the 9th, with Buddy Boshears pitching, Avisail Garcia, a 1-out triple. And then with 2 outs, Omar Narvaez, who is pretty good against left-handed pitching, ripped a single, although they called it a double, whatever you want to call it. Just call it a walk-off run for the White Sox. They win 2-1. Bo Shears gets the loss, and Enoa with the 2-inning win. All right, so the Twins go into the final game, which will be played on the channel, with a record of 63-98. The final game, as I've told you before, but I'll mention it again, Jose Barrios against Chris Sale. And that will be the final game of the season. All right, everybody, that's it for Twins Week in Baseball. I'm glad you guys have had fun with this, and I'm glad I came up with this name instead of just saying, and this is a recap, as it's a kind of a fun play on words for this week in baseball. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. If you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified when any new videos come out. And also make sure you hit that like button. And whatever games you are playing, may your games be lively and your games be good. And that's it for the final edition of Twins Week in Baseball. I hope you all have had fun.